What's going on, guys? If you're new around here, make sure to like, subscribe. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the video. So this is my new to me 1989 Chevy C1500. It is a Cheyenne, so it's a little lower on the tier of trim levels. This is a work truck, so it has the work truck front end and not your two headlight style. I don't know a crazy amount about these trucks. So a little backstory to this truck. This was my grandpa's truck. I never got to meet him. He died about 3 years before I was born. But this truck was basically just used for hauling race cars. There's a couple stickers up there, Day Motorsports, that used to be their race team. So it really only was ever used from the day it came off the lot till the day it got parked about 13 years ago, 14 years ago, and it was abandoned ever since. But basically its whole life during the years it was on the road was just hauling race cars, like I said. So it's got 153,000 miles on it. So if it's had a trailer on it this whole time, then those are pretty harsh miles. But like I said, it sat for 13, 14 years, and then I got it handed down to me. So I sort of inherited it. It's a 305 truck, so a 5-liter. Nothing too crazy. The 5 liters aren't the best, not the worst. It could be a V6 after all, but at least it's not. The tranny is a turbo 400, which is kind of weird. These trucks really weren't optioned too much from what I've heard with a turbo 400. They were usually 700 R4s. And then another weird thing about it is it's got 3/4 ton leaf springs in the rear end, and it's only a 1500, so a little weird. But other than that, it's a pretty nice looking truck. I believe they call these the OBS Chevys, old body style. Again, I don't know too much about them, but I always have, you know, had an eye for them. They're not super crazy. But I got this truck about a month or two ago. I just haven't had time to make a video, but I wanted to make a video and show you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and get under the hood, see that, and then we'll hop in the interior and everything else. So let me pop it. So again, under the hood isn't anything crazy. This is just a little 305. You can see right there, I don't know if it'll show up on video, but 5-liter right there. It does start and run. I'll give you guys a little info on what all I've done so far. But so far, pretty sure you can see, brand new alternator. When I got this truck out of the barn, it didn't have an alternator and a drive shaft, which is a little weird. Have no clue what happened to those, but that property burnt down a couple years ago. So I'm sure there's been people in that barn that's stolen parts off. Along with, got a new radiator cap that was missing, and a new battery, because again, it was missing. So put those in there, and she fired right up on ether. However, we did get it to run by itself by putting a fuel pump in it. The tank only had about a gallon of gas in it, but the fuel pump was basically eaten up. It had just disintegrated from the old fuel. When you turn the key, you could hear it running, so I didn't realize that it was bad, and I kept checking everything until I realized it actually wasn't pumping fuel. I cracked the fuel lines loose at the TBI, got nothing there, cracked them loose under the fuel filter, which is down there, and wasn't getting nothing, so I put a fuel pump in it, and she started right up. She does need a starter. The actuator or arm on the or appendix, I believe is what the real name of it's called, but it gets stuck. It works, but it only works out of like 1 out of 30 tries, so it needs a new starter. Right now I think I left the battery or the key on, and it might have killed the battery, so I don't know if she'll start up now. But definitely needs a little more fuel in it. I only put about 2 gallons, maybe 3 gallons in it when I did it. But along with the fuel pump, I dropped the fuel tank to do it instead of pulling the bed or cutting a hole in the bed, because I didn't want to do that to this truck. But I dropped the fuel tank. It does need a new fuel tank eventually. For right now, not really. But it had pinholes in the top where it rusted. Again, nothing too crazy. I just put a little epoxy over it for now. Eventually I will put one in there. They're only about 200 bucks, but not a big deal for me right now. Exterior wise, it needs some cab corners. That's really about it on this truck. Other than that, the frame is super beautiful. That's all just surface rust, so nothing crazy. But let's move into the interior and what I've done in there. So interior wise, I really haven't done much. I had to deep clean it because this truck sat in a barn for those years it was abandoned, and it was super nasty in here. This window got left down, so there was a bunch of critters in here. Luckily they didn't destroy too much. It was just mainly dusty and had like debris and stuff in here. Nothing, no feces or anything, so I got lucky on that part. I did have to pin the headliner up only because it was sagging, but really the only thing I've had to do in here so far is just the ignition cylinder, or lock cylinder I believe is what it's called, only because I had no key, and it was only about a 10-minute job. I didn't post a video on it, but it was on my TikTok if you guys want to look. It's just same username as on here, Gauge Haddocks. Go check those out. Those have videos of these trucks on my Instagram and TikTok. I just post stuff early on there. But interior wise, that's really about it. This truck does have the old school moon gauges, which is kind of cool. I know people don't really like them too much. They're not super accurate, but I like the way they look. But yeah, that's really about all I've done in there. Under the truck, transmission wise, I had to fix some wiring up under there. I don't want to lay down right now, so I'm sure you can guys get the gist of it. You can see that plug hanging right about there. I had to fix the wires on that. And then you might not be able to see the drive shaft up in there, but I got a drive shaft for it, and it's actually the wrong drive shaft, so now I have to go pull another one and figure out what drive shaft I need, because I don't have one that came in the truck to measure it and base it off of, but we'll figure that out at a later date. But really, it's just a cool truck. I would really like to get it back to its original form, get it repainted and everything, just for the factor of if my family can see it one last time, how it was. And then I would like to be able to lower it, maybe a 5.7 drop or a 4.6, who knows, with it having 3/4 springs in the rear, or leaf springs I should say. I might have to switch those out for actual 1/4 ton springs, just so I can get it to sit a little better. I do need to get a set of tires. The rears hold air amazing, but the fronts obviously not so much. They're got both holes in them. But other than that, not a super bad truck. Like I said, I mean, I've never owned one of these or really driven one, so I'm really excited to see how that goes. Everybody says these are amazing trucks, and I really haven't experienced that too much. I've had 2 cat eyes, or a bubble eye and a cat eye, and those were amazing trucks. So once I get this thing running, I would love to see the comparison between the GMT-400s and 800s. I love the 800s, absolutely love them. But yeah, super nice truck. If you guys want to continue to see videos on this truck and me getting it running, or well, it is running, but see a video of it running and restoring it, make sure to leave a comment down in the comments. And if you guys want to see anything specific done, maybe a set of wheels, or maybe something in the engine bay or interior, whatever, let me know. This is a single cab long bed, so it's a little different than what other people build. I know that people like single cab short beds. I'm not a fan of short beds at all. I like the long beds. I think they look better. They're more truck looking. But I definitely want to lower it, that's for sure. With it being a 2-wheel drive, there's just no point in lifting it. But yeah, like I said, let me know what you guys want to see. I'd love to hear that. And yeah, stay tuned.